And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. Either message or email me. Link is on main, and we'll set that up, okay? So, Aquarius, what's going on with this round of reads? This is going to be your one-to-one for the month of June. One-to-one is a style of reading that I do with person A on this side, person B on the other. And we examine the intricate dynamics of what's going on between these 2 points. As a caveat to this style of reading, 2 major things. The first, this tends to get the label called love reads a lot. I kind of despise that label. The reason being is because it's not always lovely, right? What's going on in between these 2 people does not automatically guarantee happy rainbows and sunshine. Remember, I will talk about everything at this table, good or bad, right? That's the first. The second, it ain't always got to be about love. Promise you. It could be friend, family member, coworker, neighbor, somebody you just met, right? Just what's the intricate dynamic between this person and that person. So as a preamble to this read, Aquarius, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, even when it gets difficult to understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs and none of the time to do that for any of them. Instead, we lay our cards out on the table. And good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it. Because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation. Just an energetic one. Yeah. So follow along with me in your one-to-one read today, Aquarius. And let's see what the cards say. You're going to be over here. Your person's going to be over here. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Aquarius in this read. Ooh. That almost popped out. Interesting. Okay. What are the cards that we need to see, please, for Aquarius in this one-to-one read today? Between them and their person. Your side. Okay, 9 swords, the intentionality of action, following through. On their end, justice, card of Libra. I don't know if you're dealing with one, but rather, a mutual agreement had between 2 parties that a follow through is necessary, and yeah, that's just the determinant factor. On their side, the question is what's equitable. On your side, your question is what is actionable. So I don't know exactly what's going on here, Aquarius, but there's been an ongoing dilemma of sorts that can only be fixed by doing something. That between you and this person, you're both saying like, firm handshake, right? Almost like a business deal when you say, yeah, we're going to do this. Got it. Okay, so now that we have 2 parties on the board, Aquarius and their person, let's see the fronts and backs. Fronts and backs, where the backs are what's left to the wayside, what's up in the unsaid, and the fronts what's being directly communicated between those 2. So those are the cards that we need to see, please, between Aquarius and their person. What are the cards that we need to see, please, between Aquarius and their person in this read today? Okay, starting over here. Okay, 5 of Pentacles. The notion of being left out or left behind in the form of despair. Directly communicate. Oh, 8 of Cups. Okay, I must walk away from this. On their end, 3 of Cups. In regards to that, the Queen of Cups. Okay. This has got a little bit spicy. Let's talk about it. I think I'll start over here because this one's very cut and dry, and then kind of over here because one more explains the other. On your side, Aquarius, you decided to take an action. Again, that firm handshake where you both said, yeah, this is where we stand, this is where we are. No, we got to call a spade a spade. Let's just do this. For the longest time, what's left in the unsaid, I felt so left behind, so abandoned, so left out. And I don't think this has been noticed between you and I until I bring it up in almost a crisis scenario. My choice then, I don't know if I can repeat this, I walk away. The Eight of Cups was being directly communicated on your end. You may not have seen everything and all the pain that I experienced internally or all my turmoil, but the only decision I can have at this point that you're having with this person, Aquarius, you to them, we should probably quit while we're ahead. On their end, what is equitable? What's being communicated is that Three of Cups. Now, I'll start with the Queen of Cups in the backdrop before we get to that Three of Cups, because it means one of two things, and it could go for either party. I want to be fair about this. The first, what is fair? In the backdrop, still love you, still care about you. These feelings haven't changed. However, Three of Cups was being directly told, I don't know who is stepping out of this bond. This seems like a kind of a breakup read almost. And the reason I'm saying is because the Three of Cups represents basically the notion of intended reunion or the celebration of people in groups. However, just by design, as you see the way that I read, all my formations have purpose. You have party A and party B. That's one cup, that's two cup. Where's the third coming in? Right? And this is why I'm saying they're asking what is equitable here, but the communication towards you is a Three of Cups. Now, this has been an ongoing process, right? You don't feel left behind by somebody who just came and went, right? This person is not in and out of your life. In fact, they've been very solid in your life. What's being communicated is that there is another person in the mix. And I don't know if that's on your end, Aquarius, of being the one who was emotionally drifting or seeing somebody else, or on their end of saying, I've been seeing somebody else. But long story short, the reason that things aren't remaining the way they could have been is because with that Three of Cups, the acknowledgement of two things true at once, at least for them, I still have feelings for you, but I also have feelings for somebody else. Or we must acknowledge that either one or both of us have been stepping out of this bond we wanted to call a relationship. That's just where it's at. And that's why you made that choice to say, okay, then we don't need to delay this anymore. I need to leave. So that is a sensible reaction given the context of what's going on. Now that we have fronts and backs in this read for Aquarius, show us cards you see, please, of individual positions. Not just the headspace, but where people stand. Between Aquarius and their person, show us the cards we need to see, please, for this read. What about individual positions? Okay. Your side, Page of Cups. Okay. It's not total and absolute animosity. You do see the good and benefit of where things are. You're trying not to look at this person in anger and disgust, right? Even after all this, we can acknowledge, yeah, I didn't want it to end like this. However, if this is the most appropriate thing, I can accept that. Okay. And on their end, Sun. Well, that's an interesting reaction. The happiest I've ever been starts and begins here and now. Meaning that if this is what is fair and this is what is right, this is what I accept, I will either go off with this third party, or if you were the one with the third party, then I will go off on my own. But I gotta decide what happiness looks like with or without you. So these are two people calmly, even if silently, accepting that they're probably not right for each other. Right? No matter what they've been through. And that doesn't mean it's total animosity had towards each other. I don't necessarily see all of that. But just you realize you're not as compatible as you used to be. Okay? Underneath it all. Six of Swords. Notion of moving on. Science and factuality. We move forward. Okay? So now that we have two parties looking towards each other, one at the other, one to one, show us the cards we need to see, please. What's being held down the middle? What's being shared? What are the cards we need to see, please, between Aquarius and a person in this one-to-one read? down the middle, we see Eight of Cups. Yep. So what was originally stated by you, maybe I should leave. Now both parties come to the conclusion, yeah, maybe it is right for both of us to go our separate ways. The Moon, card of Pisces. Here, we only find truth in the unknown. And the unknown is a new journey without each other. Five of Pentacles. All the emotions that you had kind of hidden away now coming to the forefront, but also for them, because they tried to weigh this fair and equitably. Again, it's not entirely clear to me which party did what here, Aquarius. I'm not here to point fingers. That's not what I'm doing. What I am saying is that both parties are feeling a little bit of abandonment, and not just the choice to leave behind, but having been left behind in some way, shape, or form by the other partner. If it was only one-sided, I would say definitely which party did what. However, if both people are feeling this, my question becomes why, right? 3 cups, 1 cup over here, the other cup over here, and third is going to some party that either you interacted with or they interacted with. But there are 3 cups at this table, and only 2 people have an exchange. What else? Page of Wands. Trying to be optimistic. Hopefully that this is what is right for us. And Seven of Pentacles. Accepting the process as is. Underneath it all, Nine of Pentacles. Separation. Separation, autonomy, and choice. Here, yeah. Is it fun? No. But we gotta find out what life means for us in our separate ways. That's how we get there. And last, as we move on towards resolution, first to find the major arcana strewn across the table for Aquarius in this read, we'll start with justice on their side. Why do they find this to be the fair and equitable choice? Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Aquarius in their read. Over here, Two of Swords. It's interesting that a notion of confusion comes around the deliberation of justice, because I don't think that that person necessarily feels that going through with this action is quote unquote right. Right, whoever is correct, whoever had the final say, the last laugh, whatever, that's not relative to this person. The question is, when I take a step back from what we did to each other, what was said, what was done, is this a healthy and proper way to do a separation? Okay, and why the Sun? Eight of Cups. Their happiness comes from finally leaving this behind. Yeah. I don't know who said what, Aquarius. I'm not here to point fingers. There's a lot of mixture going on between what happened versus how the other interpreted what happened. That's very evident down the middle. A few repeats from how you felt. However, if both parties are saying that to each other, or what is mutually shared is this disdain, this sense of abandonment, then there's probably some more things left in the unsaid that's not being directly revealed or that we're purposefully obscuring. So with that, to the Moon, Four of Cups, yeah. And so I think while we are making this more sudden decision, or at least coming to the boiling point to say, hey, we should probably leave this alone, to be totally honest, Aquarius, at least from what I'm seeing on the board, someone knew about this third party situation way before it got to this boiling point. That's the first. And the second, neither of you have really been satisfied with the relationship in a very long time. Could this have been fixed back then, back when some of these problems occurred? Absolutely, but it doesn't change where we stand right now, right? So in resolution, 10 of Cups, harmony and synchronicity. Maybe this is what's right for me here and now. And Six of Swords, again, moving on. We're right where we need to be, just separate. Nine of Pentacles. And so now we invest into a new, brighter dawn. Here, not towards each other, but actually away. What does it mean to build that life on our own? So a quick recap of what I'm seeing across the board in your read today, Aquarius. We have 2 people who, in that handshake, in that mutual agreement, said, we need to break up. it's not clear to me because it is most certainly a third party on this board, and I'm not even interested at this point of who did what and who says what, because this is very much a back and forth, at least in regards to who this person is. I don't know if you were seeing this person or they were seeing this person, but they were the one who brought this up. That is their point of contention. And so it's finally saying, look, can't do this, gotta leave, right? If this is what we have to do, then I think this is, believe it or not, a healthy breakup, because at least we come to mutual conclusions, even if they're not fun to say out loud. Okay. Down the middle, hey, we got to accept the processes. What it is, both of us have been unhappy for a long time. I think we've been hiding it behind smiles and pictures. We've been hiding a lot of disdain and animosity and growing irritation with where we are versus where we were. And so maybe the best thing is just to call it quits before it turns, more malicious. And that is a healthier choice, even if it's not the likable one or the more copacetic version of what an outcome can be. That's all I got in to read today, Aquarius. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, a healthy breakup can't just be a handshake. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.